What's up YouTube, welcome back to Celio's Network. Today is the first tabletop game of Sword and Shield standard testing. We've got Snorlax VMAX with Welder versus a pretty basic Cinderace deck. So the Snorlax with Welder deck, that's the list that I made that I posted on the channel last week. And then the Cinderace deck is based upon a list I saw from Japan. It's pretty much just the Cinderace line and Jirachi's, and then trying to just consistently attack for 190 every turn after turn 2. So we're shuffling up here. On the right is my mom Joan playing the Snorlax deck, and on the left is myself playing the Cinderace deck. And we'll have to see who goes first. I actually don't remember. So, okay, so Snorlax is going first with a Victini V start and benching in DDV. And remember, you cannot play supporters on turn 1 in this format, so that's something to keep in mind. The turn 1s are a little slower, so she just has attach fire, attach balloon to the DDV, and pass. So I have got a quick ball discarding a fire to get a Jirachi. Since I already have the Score Bunny active, getting a Jirachi is the what I really want here, so I can start getting more cards. And also Jirachi is a good pivoter when you need to pivot for Cinderace's ability that allows you to accelerate energy to it. And then a Marnie. So she didn't do anything, but I could have just assumed that she had a supporter that she couldn't play turn 1, which is pretty safe to assume, since the decks do play a lot of supporters and you can't play a supporter turn 1, so I think that was fine to do. So the Marnie, I go up to 5, she goes down to 4. Another quick ball, and I think I pitch away a Great Catcher for it to get out another Score Bunny. So I really just want to get down 3 or 4 Score Bunnies and then loop attacks. That's pretty much the entire Cinderace deck. And heads, I'm awake over to Joan again, benching a Cinccino or a Minccino. I always get them confused. The basic one. Welder 1 energy to the Victini. And it looks like she has a pretty slow start. Of course, the Victini does 30 for every energy on Victini and the defending Pokemon, so that takes an easy knockout on Jirachi. So there I play Professor's Research, discard your hand, draw 7, lay down a Heat Factory, pitch a Fire, draw 3. So I have a pretty nice sized hand going on here. It looks like I have a Candy but no Cinderace, and so I just pass. So stage 2 issues are already plaguing my deck here. I believe this was a quick ball that came down here. Yeah, quick ball for Snorlax V. So Snorlax V isn't really that great, but Snorlax VMAX is very tanky and puts out a ton of damage. And that's kind of the point of this deck, just keep one Snorlax VMAX alive. Evolutionary Incense, or Evolution Incense, comes down to get the Cinccino, the Minccino, with the trade ability. Okay, so that's Cinccino. The evolution is Cinccino. I swear I know Pokemon. So we've got the Minccino down, and she's deciding what to do here. I don't think she can Welder. So, oh, okay, so pitch the Professor with the trade ability. I'm just going to call it trade, since it is trade. And then she's using the Victini's first attack to accelerate some fire energy from the discard to the Snorlax. And she really doesn't mind if the Victini gets knocked out, because like I said, the point of this deck is to just get one Snorlax VMAX and keep it alive. So let's see. I evolve into... Is that a Reboot on the bench? Yeah, so I evolve into a Reboot on the bench. I put in a Skateboard active Score Bunny. Replace the Heat Factory after I use it, and Cynthia. So here I am hoping for Candy Cinderace. And I think I see the Candy Cinderace, which means we'll be off to the races here. Retreating, activating the Libero ability, attaching to fire when it becomes active during my turn. Put down a U-turn board, since if that gets knocked out, I'll just come back anyway. And 190 to the Victini V, taking a nice one shot on a V Pokemon, taking 2 prizes. So we've got the Snorlax VMAX active. We're both shuffling up our hands, put it to the bottom for Marnie. Marnie's a really cool supporter, and I think it's going to be played a lot when Sword and Shield comes out. So she draws 5, I draw 4. Attaching a 4th Fire Energy to the Snorlax VMAX. Now it does only need 3 to attack, but we're running Hyper Potions in that deck. So I think she's setting up for a Hyper Potion later on in the game there. A second Minccino comes down, so that's 2 trades a turn. And a normal Rod, putting back Victini and 2 fires. So technically I have the lead there. Oh no, yeah, so technically I do have the lead, 4 prizes to 5, but she will be knocking out the Cinderace since the Snorlax VMAX is currently doing 180, 60 base, and 30 for each Pokemon on the bench. So that's a knockout, and now we're even on prizes, 4 to 4. And I have to start trucking through this Snorlax VMAX before it knocks out 4 Pokemon, which is pretty hard to do. So the Cinderace deck is completely untech'd. I mean, most of the decks I'm building at this point are untech'd because we don't know what we really want to beat yet. But I do think the Cinderace deck is going to need to change up a bit to be able to beat Snorlax VMAX. Just because of if she gets the buff padding down, the HP is just so high, and the healing just keeps it out of range from a 2-shot. And Cinderace currently I don't have it built with any 1-shot potential, but really what can 1-shot a Snorlax VMAX, right? 390 HP with the buff padding. So I'm just trying to get my evolution Pokemon out onto the board here. Another evolution incense for a Reboot. Recycle energy onto the Cinderace. It's good to get the recycle energy into play. Switch out the Rachi. And I believe there I forgot to use my Libero ability, but we're going to go back and do it. I pitched away my Hearth for 2 fire, and then we realized I forgot to use my ability. So we're just going to go ahead and make believe I did not forget to use the most important ability in my deck, and we're going to go ahead and swing into that Snorlax VMAX for 190. And 190 really is a lot of damage coming out of this thing for just a single prizer. But we have built the Snorlax VMAX deck to just not let this thing die, and that's kind of what it's about to show off here, I believe. So heal 20 damage with the Indeedee V's ability, and we're seeing a Malolana come down here to heal 120. Attach another energy and Dede change right after I pitched away my Great Catcher, just pouring some salt into the wound there. I figured they're never gonna bench the Dene, so we're just gonna throw away the Great Catcher. And then she's like, well, there goes the Great Catcher, so I'll just put down the Dene. A couple trades for more cards. Let's see. One more trade. Okay, so that's the second trade. And then a retreat and smack me for a light 210 there. So just like that, she has the lead now, 3 prizes, and that Snorlax VMAX looks like it's barely even been touched. I Stellar Wish into a Professor. Recycle Energy, of course, play the Professor. And let's see, I'm not sure what I was looking for. Oh, a switch. Yeah, I was looking for something to switch with, I guess. But it looks like I'm not going to be switching here. And that is going to spell trouble for the old Cinderace deck, because I'm just going to leave this Rachi out there and she'll go up another prize. And then it'll be 4-2, and that Snorlax VMAX is just looking more and more out of reach. So Stellar Wish into the Professor, then Professor for no switching card. Another Fire Energy comes down onto the Snorlax VMAX. Off padding comes down to the Snorlax VMAX, so that is now a 390 HP Pokemon. And it is just looking unwinnable for me now. Pitch the Hearth and I don't search out with it, and then play Cynthia. So if I go 190 and then they heal 20, they'll be down at 180. And then I go 190 again. That even if there's no healing other than just the Indeedee between the turns, there's nothing I can do. And so here I wasn't able to switch, and that's just the end of the game's coming up here. And I think she's about to bring up my Cinderace and knock it out with the Ninetales, going down to just 1 prize card. And I think yeah, there's the scoop. So the Snorlax VMAX deck was able to heal itself like it's built to do, and just go through a few smaller attackers. The Cinderace deck did kind of get going at some point there, but just not as much as you would like to see from it. So kind of some stage 2 issues, and just overall just average consistency problems that happen to any deck with Jirachi that needs to search for a switch out. So maybe moving forward, I would like to put some more switching cards into that deck. But that was game 1. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and check back for game 2, of course, and game 3 maybe. If it goes to a game 3, I want to do best 2 out of 3s for some matchups, and maybe just 1 best of 1s for other matchups. We'll see how it goes, but I have a lot planned for Sword and Shield content and expanded content, so make sure you subscribe to get notified of when that gets uploaded. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time here on SwSh Network.